I think ultimately innovation is how we can make the world a better place. We said that innovation is change that adds value. So I think if we can help people become better at improving the world, then everyone benefits. My name is Dr Amantha Imber. I'm the founder of innovation consultancy Inventium, and I'm also the host of the podcast How I Work. Inventium is a company that helps turn people into better creative thinkers. So we work with all sorts of companies such as Google and Apple and Lego, through to banks like Commonwealth Bank of Australia, through to Virgin Airlines. What we do with people that work in those organisations is we help them get in touch with their inner creative genius and understand what does the customer want and how can we think of a really creative solution for that, and then we help them bring those ideas to life. What drives me and what drives my team is how many people can we help in a positive way? How many people's lives can we change? Because what's more awesome than that? When I was younger, I always identified as being a creative type. I'd always have creative pursuits on the go. I wanted to be a dressmaker and designer when I was in my teens, and I was into acting and writing and lots of creative things. And I think with Inventium, I realised that creativity doesn't have to be something that isn't in a traditional creative domain like the arts. You can actually incorporate creativity into any job that you do. Ultimately, creativity is just about coming up with better solutions to problems. That's all creativity is. Did you know that looking at 9 black dots on a sheet of paper and one of them's red, just looking at that for a couple of minutes helps you think more creatively? I was working in advertising as a consumer psychologist, which is someone that understands why people buy the things that they buy and essentially how to make them buy more of those things. Ethically, not the greatest moment of my life. I wanted to get back to my psychology roots. I'd become a psychologist to help people in a meaningful way. Inventium was a plan B. I didn't want to start my own business. I applied for a ton of jobs. I didn't want any of them except the one that I did want didn't want me, which was quite heartbreaking. And so my friends were like, well, create the company that you want to work in. And I thought, well, what have I got to lose? Not much at that point in my life. So I did that, and 12 years later, here I am, and it's turned out really well. I think what's exciting about creating your own business is that you can do anything and you can make it anything. For me, as well as being passionate about innovation, I was always really passionate to create the best place that people have ever worked. Because we're all about creativity, we thought, well, let's create interesting job titles. So I called myself an inventiologist, inspired by psychologists, but someone that specialises in inventing things and helping other people invent things. The person that looks after the office administration is called the chaos controller, because ultimately they control chaos. There's an assumption that you have to have a boss. So about 3 years ago, we got rid of all the managers. Everyone is given a great deal of freedom to decide on what are their goals, because they know what the company goals are, and then they set about working to achieve them. I think if you've got an idea, rather than get too caught up in thinking about it and thinking of all the possibilities and putting together a plan, I would just put together the minimum possible version of that idea and get it in front of customers as quickly as possible so that you are getting live feedback on your idea. I think the biggest mistake that people make is just thinking and staying in their own heads for far too long. And that's the comfortable place to be, because as soon as you put your idea in front of customers, that's when you start getting feedback, and a lot of that feedback's going to be bad. But that feedback is what will shape your idea into something that is a good idea.